Okay, let's dive into this epic retelling of a classic story, but we're going to look at it through a lens you've probably never seen before. See, this isn't just about a father's test of faith. It's really all about a son's incredible resolve. So get this, our story doesn't kick off with a command from on high. Nope. It starts with a willing vow from a son, Isaac. These are the words that set a whole cosmic test into motion, spoken with this quiet conviction that just echoes way beyond his tent.
We start inside Abraham's tent. His older son, Ishmael, is kind of boasting about his own obedience. But then, in response, a 37-year-old Isaac makes this declaration that is so profound, it literally captures the attention of heaven itself.
Yeah, Isaac's words send ripples all the way up, and it starts a full-on debate. You have this accuser, a powerful angelic being named Mastema. Think of him like a heavenly prosecutor who challenges Abraham's devotion. He's basically saying, hey, this new son has replaced his love for you. But the Lord defends Abraham, saying his faith is rock solid.
And so, a test is agreed upon. But it's not a punishment, you know? It's more like a way to reveal the pure, unshakable faith that's inside the hearts of both the father and the son. It's a way to prove Mastema wrong, once and for all.
And then the call comes. God commands Abraham to take his beloved son Isaac to a place called Mount Moriah for an offering. This kicks off a journey that is just packed with emotional and even supernatural challenges, every single one of them designed to break their spirits.
Sarah, she has no idea what the real purpose of this trip is. She spends this heartbreaking, tearful night with Isaac. She doesn't know what's coming, but her instructions to Abraham, man, they just highlight the deep, tragic, human stakes of this divine test.
So the journey itself basically becomes a gauntlet. And Mastema, having lost that debate in heaven, he's not just sitting this one out. Oh no, he's now actively trying to derail the whole mission at every single turn.
So the first trial, it's all psychological. Mastema shows up disguised as this sad old man and starts planting seeds of doubt. He's arguing, come on, a command like this? It couldn't possibly be from God. But Abraham just rebukes him and keeps going.
Having failed with the father, Mastema switches tactics and goes after the son. He appears as a handsome young man, trying to tempt Isaac into rebelling, calling his father old and foolish. But Isaac's trust is unbreakable. He immediately tells Abraham what happened.
The final trial is a straight-up supernatural barrier. Suddenly, bam, a raging river just appears where there wasn't one a second before, totally blocking your path. But Abraham, he realizes it's just another one of Mastema's tricks. He rebukes the accuser, and just like that, the water vanishes. Their path is clear again. Okay, so they've overcome all of Mastema's trials, and now they've reached the third day. And this is where the whole journey builds to this moment of true spiritual clarity as they get closer to their destination.
As they look towards Mount Moriah, this incredible divine sign appears. A pillar of fire, a cloud of glory, this radiant light that confirms their purpose. But here's the crazy part. It's a sight that's only visible to Abraham and Isaac. It's their confirmation that they are on the chosen path, set apart from everyone else.
So the servants get left behind, and then we get this pivotal, heavy moment. Abraham places the wood for the offering on his own son's shoulders, and Isaac, without a single complaint, carries the very means of his own sacrifice as they walk on, just the two of them. They've reached the summit. The air is still. All the deception and doubt are behind them now, and the true, terrifying nature of their purpose, well, it has to be confronted.
Isaac breaks the silence, and he asks the one question that's been hanging in the air this entire time. It's such a moment of innocent curiosity, but it just cuts right to the heart of everything.
And Abraham's answer, it's just this incredible statement of faith in the face of the impossible. And in this telling of the story, Isaac totally gets it. He understands. He accepts his role. He knows what this means. And this, right here, is the absolute game changer. Isaac is not a passive victim. No way. He's an active, willing participant in this. He's actually urging his father to get it over with quickly, telling him his heart is pure and that he's actually joyful to be chosen. What follows is just a sequence of heartbreaking resolve. They prepare the altar together. Isaac asks to be bound tightly so he won't flinch. And as Abraham's tears fall onto his son, Isaac offers his neck. The knife is raised.
But at that final, unbearable second, a voice like thunder just rings out from this radiant light in heaven, stopping the action instantly. The test is complete. So the trial is over, but its consequences, both divine and deeply human, they're only just beginning to unfold. And the price for this kind of revelation? It's steep.
And then a ram, which Mastema himself had actually tangled in a thicket in a final failed attempt to stop the test, is now provided as the offering in Isaac's place. A heavenly messenger proclaims this blessing that will just echo through history, a promise of countless descendants who will bless the entire world.
But while the blessing is happening up on that mountain, Mastema delivers one last, unbelievably cruel lie. He shows up in disguise again and tells Sarah that Isaac is dead, causing her to just collapse in grief, believing the absolute worst.
And this is the tragic cost. When Mastema comes back to tell her he lied, the emotional whiplash, from that absolute bottomless grief to this overwhelming shock of joy, is just too much for her to bear. Her soul departs, and she dies before she can ever see her son again.
So Abraham and Isaac return, not to a celebration, but to mourning. Their ultimate act of faith is rewarded with this divine promise for the future, but it comes at the cost of their family's present. It just leaves us with this huge, powerful question about the incredibly complex nature of sacrifice.